There's a special kind of helplessness that feels like being a caged animal. In this endless darkness, sweat and pain are my only companions. Every gasp for air is like arm wrestling with death. Every impact, a stark reminder that I'm still alive, or at least still struggling. Strength drains from my body inch by inch, and my consciousness starts to fade. But a voice deep inside is screaming, "Get lost. Don't come closer. This isn't just training anymore. This is a damn nightmare on repeat, seared into my very soul." And just then, a light. Bro, it's an exit. If I could just crawl out of here, I'll live. Once I'm out, you're all dead. My friends, wait for me. Please, just a little more. I'm almost there. Finally, I escaped. Pure ecstasy shot through me like a jolt of lightning. I could already taste the sweetness of revenge. And then the scene shifted. I saw a familiar figure get sent flying. Wait a second, isn't that the transfer student? That look in his eyes, that smirk, absolute dominance. The sound of a fist clenching echoes in my ears. No, this is all too real. I jolted awake, drenched in sweat. Plot twist. It was all a dream. Bro, I'm shattered. The nightmare's aftertaste still lingered, but reality was staging a different kind of lesson. That's right. Now I'm that transfer student, Kwon Daegun, the creator of nightmares. My mission, to take down these school bullies one by one. Staring at their terrified faces, I said coldly, "Get over there and stand in a row." News travels fast. The guy on the other end of the line was clearly rattled. Since when did Gold Dragon have someone like that? A transfer student from out of town, and four guys can't take him down? Does that even make sense? The unreasonable part is yet to come. To dig up the mastermind, I had to use some special methods. I grabbed this dude by the throat and asked coldly, "Didn't you just mention Kim Won-woon?" He was scared out of his mind, tried to lie, but my eyes told him that would only make him die faster. Yeah, Won-woon is scary, but this bastard in front of me is a freaking psycho. Gossip in this school spreads faster than a virus. People are whispering about me, saying I'm like some gangster. Even more amusing, the big guy I saved yesterday is telling everyone that pretty girl has a crush on him. The result? A public execution of his dignity. The girl went off. "Have you looked in a mirror? You look like a gorilla. I find you repulsive." The guy was roasted into silence, stammering out an apology. Then the girl saw me and panicked, rushing to clear the air. "You must be mistaken. I hate this kind of barbaric violence, so I'll take my leave." Watching her scramble away was kind of cute, not gonna lie. After she left, Yang Jinma sidled up to gossip. "How does she look? Pretty, right? Definitely different from the girls at our school." It's true. In a school full of gangsters, she's an anomaly. Maybe she's the only normal thing I have here. My thoughts snapped back to the mission. A message from Yang Jinma on my phone. "Kim Won-woon didn't come to school today." As if he can hide. If he's not coming, then I'll just pay a visit to his home base. Class 1 is 6. I kicked the door open and grabbed the nearest guy. "Where's Kim Won-woon?" He tried to play dumb at first, right until my hands were around his neck. He recognized me instantly, because fear is the best form of ID. It's you, Daegun. I didn't recognize you with my glasses on." Just then, a girl with long hair cut in, tone hostile. "Hey, what's your deal, causing a fuss in another classroom?" Another guy chimed in, "Hey, Yang Jima, you gonna take that?" Looks like Kim Won-woon's royal guard has arrived. The girl sized me up, then it clicked. "Wait, come to think of it, aren't you the transfer student who's been causing trouble?" The guy I was staring down got spooked, but still tried to act tough. The girl, on the other hand, had this air of superiority. "Aren't you going to speak politely? You must not have any idea who I am, do you?" "Oh, are we about to play the Who's Your Daddy game? Interesting." She smugly dropped her connection. "You know Baek Soo-hyuk, the leader of the 3rd grade Golden Dragon, don't you? He's my appa." The words were barely out of her mouth when she got a clear look at my face without the glasses. Her pupils dilated, cheeks flushed. Holy, he's freaking handsome without his glasses? Bro, a plot twist nobody saw coming. Her brother's name, however, meant absolutely nothing to me. I scoffed, "So what does that have to do with?" Before I could finish, another idiot charged at me. I didn't even bother to look him in the eye. One clean, sharp sidekick sent him straight into a world of pain. The hit landed, and I barely felt any resistance. These so-called elites are nothing more than punching bags to me. I retracted my leg, my expression still calm. The guy I sent flying, though, had a face full of "Who am I? Where am I shock?" Just then, a voice came from behind me. "Were you looking for me?" I turned around. A guy with delicate features but a sinister glint in his eyes was watching me. A playful smirk touched his lips. "Yeah, I'm Kim Won-woon." Finally, the main boss has entered the chat. A new chapter begins. Kim Won-woon, the man at the top of this school's food chain, finally stands before me. He's so confident, acting as if I'm here on a pilgrimage. "I heard you were looking for me," he asks. I nod. Yeah, I was. Got some business with you." All eyes in the room are on us. I know the Foundation has loosened the restrictions on me, which means I can play a little rougher now. Kim Won-woong sneers. "What's your business here?" I raise my fist and answer with my actions. "My business is beating you up." I threw a punch without any warning. His lackeys were stunned. Hey, weren't we just having conversation? Why are you throwing a punch out of nowhere?" "Bullshit. With people like you, what is there to talk about?" A guy next to him, named Jiziak, tried to sucker punch me, attempting a wrestling takedown. But he quickly discovered my stance is as solid as a mountain. He couldn't move me an inch, even with all his strength. This guy, what kind of monster is he? Disbelief was written all over his face. Kim Won-woong saw through my intentions. He grabbed the meal ticket I'd beaten up earlier and viciously interrogated him, asking if he'd leaked the plan. The trust within this group is as thin as paper. Seeing that meal ticket getting falsely accused and beaten, a strange anger flared up inside me. To be honest, this feeling sucks. I'm not here to serve justice, but I'm not here to watch this pathetic drama either. Kim Won-woong was still showing off his power, thinking he had everything under control. He mocked me, saying how dare a meal shuttle's small fry act so bold in front of him. But he has no idea. I'm nobody's dog. I cut him off. "Stop the act. There's no proof you bullied Yang Jinma, so I can't touch you directly. But being misunderstood, it feels like shit, doesn't it?" I stared into his eyes, letting him know I saw right through him. Kim Won-woong's buddies kept fanning the flames from the sidelines, warning me not to concern myself with it. They thought their numbers could intimidate me, but they completely misjudged the situation. I knew there was no point in pushing it further in this kind of atmosphere. So I decided on a tactical retreat. Right? I'm leaving. That Ujizia kid actually thought he handled it well. Little does he know, this is just the calm before the storm. Retreat doesn't mean defeat. It means planning a more vicious attack. Kim Won-woong and his crew thought it was over once I left. They started contacting guys from another vocational high school. Looks like they're planning to go big and call for backup. Sitting in the classroom, I replayed the confrontation in my head. Kim Won-woong was the culprit, I was sure of it. But without concrete evidence, my role as the designated bully became a handicap. I couldn't just attack him without cause, or I'd become the bad guy. Just then, the history teacher's words hit me. In the history of war, a justification is an essential point. That's it. I need a legitimate reason to start this war. A justification so perfect that everyone can only watch as I crush him under my heel. Meanwhile, Kim Won-woong was raging at his underlings off campus. "How can 4 of you not even capture one person? Are you guys useless?" His frustrated tantrum had none of the composure of a leader. The call connected. It was reinforcements from Bangun Vocational High. Kim Won-woong started laying out his plan, completely unaware that he was walking step by step onto the stage I was setting for him. Their plan was simple, a numbers game. Get a mob to beat me half to death, then let Kim Won-woong finish the job. How naive. Do they really think numbers can decide the outcome? However, things took an unexpected turn. Those scumbags from Bangun Vocational actually set their sights on that girl. The girl from yesterday. Who is she? Hearing this, Yang Jinma's face went pale. "But why her?" "What do you mean why? We'll beat her up and have some fun." The lecherous laugh from the other end of the line disgusted me, and Won-woong actually agreed. "Okay, I'll bring her too." Yang Jinma screamed in horror. "What? Why on earth? She has nothing to do with this." "Perfect. Kim Won-woong, you just handed me my justification for war on a silver platter. Yang Jinma's fear is my declaration of war. Now, I'm not just going to defeat you. I'm going to crush you." Kim Won-woong's crew started discussing this insane plan, aware of the risks. The girl is in Class 9, and the Class 9 boss, Lee Sung-hoon, is no pushover. The school rule is clear. You can't mess with other classes' students unless you defeat their leader. But Kim Won-woong has gone mad. Or perhaps, he feels an unprecedented threat from my arrival. He sneered, "Perfect. After I deal with this transfer student, I'll just eat Class 9 right away." Ambition and fear were making him reckless. On the other side, Yang Jinma, the once arrogant bully, is now kneeling before me, apologizing for his actions yesterday. "Daegun, I'm really sorry about yesterday. It'll never happen again." How ironic. Just yesterday, he was trying to get me killed. My arrival completely upended the power structure of the first years. Former underlings now worship me, seeing me as a new legend. But as I looked at Yang Jinma kneeling on the floor, I felt nothing, except maybe a little pity. He had to apologize not just to me, but to the girl as well. To show his sincerity, He even offered to treat me to tekbaki. I looked at his pathetic state and thought, eat with you? I'll pass. But seeing his pitiful expression, my heart softened. Okay, let's eat then. I agreed. We went to the class 9 door to get the girl. Unexpectedly, her first reaction upon seeing Yang Jinma was, "You're going to buy me tekbaki as an apology? Why should I go with you?" The situation became extremely awkward. Right then, the girl's friend, the one with glasses, Era, rushed out excitedly. With a new student? Okay, let's go. The way her eyes were sparkling, it was obvious she was interested in me. What was supposed to be an apology meal was quickly turning into a weird group date. My brain short-circuited and I blurted out, "Aha, I'll treat your friend too. Let's make it a double date." I regretted it the second the words left my mouth. Bro, my social suicide level just went up. The girl, Jean, looked torn but eventually agreed. Meanwhile, I was already wondering if I should ditch my glasses for contacts. What the hell am I doing? Did I really think we were just going to eat tekbaki? And now I've dragged innocent people into this. I groaned, running my hands through my hair in frustration. At the same time, rumors about me and my seatmate were already starting to brew quietly around the school. What I didn't know was that the guys from Banyun Vocational were already on the move. They weren't planning on letting Kim Won-woong get his hands dirty. They want to take me out themselves to claim a piece of Gold Dragon High. A conspiracy against me was unfolding in the shadows. They thought their plan was flawless. Team up to crush me, forcing me to transfer or drop out. Then Kim Won-woong could take over Gold Dragon High, and they'd get control of Banyun High. Killing two birds with one stone, a brilliant plan in their minds. Walking down the street at dusk, the four of us were a picture of awkwardness, so intense you could build a house with it. Me and Yang Jima walked ahead, the two girls behind. Both of them were thinking the same thing. What kind of weird-ass combination is this? So uncomfortable. Era was still lost in her fantasy date with a new student, but Jean noticed something was off. By the way, what's wrong with this place? They're all closed. Yang Jima started sweating bullets, stammering, there is, of course there is. Era, on the other hand, was confident. The really good restaurants are always hidden in places like this. But I caught on to Yang Jinma's panic. He was like a terrible actor about to have his cover blown. I smiled and asked, why are you so flustered? It's as if you're up to something." The words were barely out of my mouth when a group of guys in Banyun Vocational uniforms appeared from the end of the alley. Well. So the so-called good restaurant was actually a trap set for me. Yang Jima instantly dropped to his knees, sobbing, "I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry." The two girls were terrified. Jean looked at the kneeling Yang Jinma with utter contempt. "You really are a piece of trash. He was forced to lead us here because Kim Won-woong threatened his family. While understandable, cowardice is still cowardice." The Banyun guy started mocking him, saying Yang Jinma was too scared of Kim Won-woong. Their leader, a dude with a mohawk, swaggered towards us. "Hey, big guy, why are you kneeling? You gathered us here to make that bastard kneel." They clearly underestimated me, still chattering about my 1 versus 4 victory. I think his 4 opponents were just idiots. Their underestimation would prove to be fatal. Look at that bastard, he looks so fucking weak. How dare he go to Jumryong High School? Their chatter was dripping with contempt. But some remained cautious. But don't let your guard down, Youngmin and I have already seen the real strength of that guy. A beefy guy named Min Byung-won stepped forward, a top 10 ranker in Bonjun's first year. "Can I go first? I want to test the skills of a Jumryong boss tier." "Excellent. 1 by 1 is fine by me. Saves me the trouble." I adjusted my tie and faced him calmly. "How strong is the leader tier of Jumryong High School? Let me find out." A new battle begins. Min Byung-won puts on this profound act, claiming he'll show me a vision that transcends ordinary people. This dude has a serious case of Chinibyo. Damn it. Where the hell are you even looking? I couldn't help but roast him. He just roared back, "I'm looking right at you." His so-called special skill is to unfocus his eyes to confuse his opponent. "So far, not a single person has survived looking at these eyes," he boasted, striking an absurd pose. "All right, Fine. If you're gonna fight me, then let's do it." Not gonna lie, his trick does have some merit. The unfocused eyes make it hard to read his attack patterns. Even the onlookers thought it would be tough. Although I can win with my wrestling skills, I don't know what that guy's gonna do. One thing's for sure though, it's not gonna be easy. Easy? For me, dealing with flashy tricks like this doesn't even count as a warm-up. The instant he charged, I slipped behind him, my arm locking perfectly around his neck. A flawless rear naked choke. He didn't even have a chance to react. His buddies were dumbfounded. What the hell happened? I didn't see it. The lack of air was making Min Byung-won's eyes roll back, but he was still struggling. His friend panicked. It's over. Do a tap out. He did tap out. In a formal match, that's the signal for surrender. But this is the street, not a ring. I looked down at him, a cold smirk playing on my lips. Did you think I'd let go if you tap out? My words stunned everyone present. That's right. You came here with the determination to kill me, even dragging innocent people into this. Since you've crossed the line, I'll fight you guys with the determination to kill you too. My aura stunned them, but they quickly recovered. Beating one doesn't mean it's over, bastard. Can't you see? 9 people are standing right in front of you. I turned to Jean. I'll take care of it immediately. Can you hold my bag? And it's dangerous, so stay away. I turned back to face the 9 enemies and got into my fighting stance. Just fight me, all of you. Their plan was simple. 5 attack first to break my rhythm, and once I'm down, everyone jumps in. A classic mob tactic. But for me, a tactic like that is full of holes. They want to surround me? Then I'll use the wall, forcing them into a straight line. That way, they can only come at me one by one to die. What followed was a one-sided slaughter. I moved like a precision killing machine, efficiently taking down every enemy that charged. Kicks, elbow strikes, every attack landed exactly where it would hurt the most. Facing a blonde kid, I even scooped up a handful of dirt and threw in his face. In the instant he was blinded, a heavy punch took him down. Dirty? No, it's called tactics. Another one down. The guy watching from the side was completely stunned, muttering to himself. I knew he was strong, but I didn't know he was this strong. That's right, and this is just the beginning. His buddy was already wavering. Perhaps he'll beat Kim Won-woon and Yu Jiziak. He might even become the boss of the entire first years. No, I'm sure he will. Fear began to spread. Some of them were already looking for an escape route. The remaining few were still putting up a futile resistance, but their attacks were like slow motion to me. Every punch, every block was completely under my control. The fight continued. I was a whirlwind, sweeping them off their feet one by one. Power, speed, and technique merged perfectly in this moment. Soon, the ground was littered with bodies. I wiped the sweat from my brow. Taking on 7 at once is a bit hard. The last 2 standing were completely broken. One of them actually started laughing. Whoa, haha. All I could do is laugh. You're not human. Their leader began to analyze my tactics, using the terrain to turn a group fight into a series of one-on-ones. That's right. I'm not some brute who only knows how to use force. I know how to fight. They admitted I was strong, but they still had more cards to play. Footsteps approached. Another wave of reinforcements had arrived. Their faces were full of contempt and disdain, utterly clueless about what they were about to face. This new wave of guys even brought baseball bats. How strong is that bastard? I'm glad I brought a baseball bat. It seems they plan to use weapons to bridge the gap in strength. Their leader provoked me again. You sure fought well, but who said there was only 10 people? I did feel the pressure. Can I really handle this many alone? Just then, a calm voice cut through the tension. Who said he's alone? I turned around in surprise and saw a few familiar faces. The one in the lead was a red-headed kid. Min-soo, why are you here? He answered flatly. Our Class 1 boss was having a hard time by himself. I'm here to help you. The arrival of reinforcements instantly turned the tide of battle. Former rivals were now allies. The story, it seems, is getting more and more interesting. Never thought it would be Min-soo and his crew who came to the rescue. He was a defeated rival, and now he's here to help. I'm upset you took my place as boss, but I can't just look the other way here. I was totally confused. But how do you know about this place? Turns out, it was Yang Jinma who tipped them off. Min-soo was pissed when he found out, feeling like his plan was ruined by this idiot teammate. He turned to me in a fit of rage and embarrassment, yelling, okay, well, Won-woon's gonna kill you anyway. I'll just kill you peacefully right here. But after his outburst, his tone shifted. Actually, I didn't want to be under a scumbag like Kim Won-woon anymore. He roared at the Bong-eun guys. You guys get ready to be killed here, Bon-joon's stupid jerks. The red-headed kid next to him smiled. Nice, we have one more person. And so, our hastily formed Avengers began to strategize. The red-headed kid suggested that I take on their 2 strongest guys while they handle the small fry. As for Min-soo, he immediately declared he wasn't fighting and would just watch from the side. The enemy also took note of our new lineup, especially the red-headed kid, who seemed like a tough customer. But I turned to my new allies and said, I appreciate your willingness to help, but I don't really trust you guys. My words made the atmosphere a bit awkward, but the enemy was getting impatient. The guy with the baseball bat started shouting threats, but the red-headed kid just scoffed and pulled his own tool out of his backpack. Holy crap, it was another baseball bat. He said confidently, it's been a while since I've used it freely. Even if the opponent has a baseball bat, I think it'll still be fine. The blonde kid next to him pulled out a wrench. Turns out, this crew is full of weapon masters. I thought to myself, do these guys just carry weapons in their backpacks? Are they here for school or for war? Rumor has it this red-headed kid is a legendary weapon master known as Master of All Arms. Now, this is getting interesting. The red-headed kid, Manho, started lecturing the opponent. You think you know how to use a baseball bat just by holding one? I'll teach you a lesson. The guy was provoked, screaming he was going to explode his head. A baseball bat derby was about to begin. Manho calmly analyzed his opponent's movements. Right-handed. A beginner's swing always goes diagonally from top right. The moment the guy swung, Manho suddenly threw a handful of chalk powder in his face. Bro, playing dirty. While his opponent was blinded, Manho landed a precise, heavy blow right on his solar plexus. A one-hit KO. The guy instantly lost his ability to fight, collapsing to his knees in agony. Clean, decisive, and ruthless. After taking one down, Manho picked up the bat from the ground and turned to the remaining grunts. Don't get in the boss fight. Come on to me. All by himself, he held off the enemy's main force. The remaining enemies were terrified by Manho's brutality and began to hesitate. But Manho didn't give them time to think, launching his own attack and taking them down one by one with even dirtier, more effective methods. Meanwhile, the blonde kid and the big guy were also engaging the enemy. The fight was incredibly intense. Both sides were seeing red, starting to grab soju bottles off the ground to use as weapons. The blonde kid was quickly taken down. The enemy taunted, "Where's that numbers advantage you're bragging about? Why don't you fight now?" The big guy stepped up. "I'll fight first. If it doesn't work, back me up right away." The big guy was a wrestler, extremely confident in his one-on-one abilities. "I will never lose in a one-on-one match if my opponent doesn't know how to deal with a wrestler," he growled, then charged forward. His tackle was lightning fast, but unexpectedly his opponent reacted even faster. I easily neutralized his takedown and fluidly moved to his back. He was utterly shocked. "He's solving my tackles so quickly like this?" "That's right. Wrestling moves? I know them too. And maybe I'm even better at them than you are." "Got you," I whispered in his ear. "You know what it means to be caught in the back by a wrestler, right? It means this is the end." As my words fell, this chaotic group battle finally came to a close. The chaos of the group battle had just ended, but the main event was just getting started. With the minions out of the way, it was time for a one-on-one deep dive with their wrestling champ. I whispered, "This is the end." It wasn't a threat. It was a spoiler. I could feel every muscle in his body trembling with fear. A back suplex? He finally realized he'd picked the wrong fight. That's right, a back suplex, a dangerous technique that can snap a neck like a twig. And I was about to give him a live demonstration. But then, I had a change of heart. Ending it outright was too merciful. I intentionally maneuvered him towards the wall, applying a clever joint lock that completely immobilized him. His mind was just a mess of question marks. Why can't I move? Bro, that's because strategy is a part of strength too. It was a bit of shame to give up that perfect back suplex, but this ground control technique would make him question his life choices all the same. He struggled desperately, only to find himself pinned like a bug. I can't break out of it. His despair was the highest form of praise for my work. No, he finally realized that under absolute technical suppression, he had zero chance of winning. Fear spread in his eyes like ink in clear water. It's dangerous. Exactly. But it's a little too late for that realization. And just then, his buddy charged in, trying to interrupt me. Wow, talk about brotherly love. But honestly, this kind of meddling is just plain annoying. Fine, if you guys don't get beaten up together, I'm happy to oblige. The newcomer was Cha Jinwoo, a Taekwondo master from Bonyun Technical High. They immediately adopted a hit-and-run strategy, trying to use distance and teamwork against me. Not a bad idea, but they seem to have forgotten that my specialty is shattering other people's plans. Hit-and-run tactics? Trying that on me is like showing off your axe skills to a master carpenter. What they saw as perfect coordination, I saw as a tapestry of flaws. I closed the distance in an instant, and a single, swift kick shattered their formation. Their teamwork was kind of interesting, not gonna lie. The Taekwondo kid's main skill is kicking, constantly trying to create distance. The other one supports from the side, waiting for an opening. An idea sparked in my mind. What if I just eliminate the space between us entirely? So, I decided to stop playing defense. I ignored the guy running interference and charged straight for the Taekwondo kid. When the distance is reduced to 0, all his fancy kicks become useless. I'd seen right through their strategy. The Taekwondo kid handles the kiting, while the big guy acts like an opportunist, jumping in only when I show a weakness or gain an advantage. All right, now that I've read the script, it's time to take one of the actors off the stage. With lightning speed, I planted my fist squarely on the Taekwondo kid's face. Plan successful. Now let's see him try to create distance again. I got hit. The disbelief was written all over his face. That's right, your precious speed and sense of distance are nothing but a joke in front of me. Plot twist, bro. With one down, the pressure shifted to the other guy. I'll admit, I got careless for a second and he landed a cheap shot. But thanks to his helpful teammate buying me some precious time to cool down, it's now my turn to properly find a weak spot. He seemed to be getting desperate, feinting with his fists. The intention was obvious. He wanted to try the same trick again, a tackle. Hey man, it's too obvious. The same move doesn't work on me twice. Your friendship is so gross, I said to the other one, while stepping on the down muscle head. You're not giving me any time at all. But I've already read all of your skills too. Before my voice even faded, I sent the remaining guy flying with a kick. So-called teamwork crumbles before absolute power. Now, the two of you can lie there together and reflect on what just happened. Seeing his pained expression, I felt nothing. For bullies like him, the only way they learn is by experiencing the same pain they inflict. This wall is the price he pays for his foolishness. The fight was basically over. I grabbed his hair, made him look at me, and then yelled to the guy who'd been watching from a distance, "Hey, the last one over there, Semir. When I clear a room, I clear it completely. New day, old troubles." The moment I stepped into this high school as the bully in charge, I knew that peaceful days were a thing of the past. Every punch I throw is another shuffle of this school's pecking order. The aftermath of the fight spread through the student body like wildfire. My name, Kwon Daegun, became the hot topic of conversation. Wow, Daegun is really strong. He's like the main character in those webtoons. Heh, a main character? I have no interest in being a hero. I'm just a cleaner, paid to do a job. Got rid of one guy. Where's the other one? Looking at the dude still struggling on the ground, I was getting impatient. Let's finish it quickly. As I said, it's a waste of time. Why don't you crawl out of here on your own then? Shut up. He's still talking tough. Bro, I'm speechless. Is this guy a monster? Can't hit him, can't tackle him. Nevertheless, even the toughest rock can't withstand repeated blows. His final struggle was meaningless to me. A tackle again? I was getting tired of it. So tired of these boring repetitions. And so, I decided to end this lesson in the most direct way possible. The moment he charged, I sidestepped and used his momentum to pin him to the ground. What are you doing? You don't have the energy to get out of this. I stared at him coldly. This position is dangerous. He knew it, and so did I. I couldn't do it because your friend interrupted me earlier. Would you like me to finish it? Under absolute domination, he finally broke. Stop. I lost. His pleading didn't stop me. Instead, it enraged someone who looked like their leader. Look at this fucking shit. Are you going to get involved with the Golden Dragon again? Looks like I've accidentally kicked an even bigger hornet's nest. You're going to die today while chasing someone named Kim Won-woo. I squeezed his throat, telling him the cold truth. The more he struggled, the more certain I became that this Kim Won-woo was the key to unlocking this whole mess. It's obvious why you stepped into this school. To interrupt the Golden Dragon hierarchy, right? I looked at him, exposing his motives word by word. But who do you think will be able to grasp the Golden Dragon now? Is it Kim Won-woo? Or is it the person strangling you right now? Finally, it was all over. I let go, warning him, think carefully, and don't do that again. Take your friends and disappear quietly. My ally seemed unhappy with my mercy, but I knew that psychological destruction is far more thorough than physical punishment. No, it's okay. I refused my ally's suggestion to finish the job with a baseball bat. I'm struggling physically too. There's another way. I turned to him and thanked him sincerely. Thank you. Thanks to you, I survived. Even a mad dog needs a pack sometimes. The fight ended, the adrenaline faded, and a girl's legs gave out. I instinctively caught her. Are you all right? Her face turned red as a tomato, and her inner monologue went into overdrive. Dude, I just finished a brawl. How did I switch to the rom-com channel? The cozy atmosphere didn't last 3 seconds before another group surrounded us. Your existence itself is wrong. They accused me of bringing trouble to the school and getting normal students caught up in my mess. I had no comeback because, to some extent, they were right. A girl named Jaina was the most emotional. She pointed at me and yelled, "To me, you're all the same thugs. The way you solve everything with your fist is so childish and cheap. Don't bother normal school kids. Just go to a quiet place and die." Her words were like a knife, stabbing the hearts of all the delinquents present. After the storm, Jaina apologized to her friend, saying she was driven by her words. She hated violence, hated the thoughtless harm it caused. Her words sent me in a deep thought. Is what I'm doing really justice? Or is it just another form of violence? And I don't care about the transfer student anymore, Jaina told her friend, seemingly determined to draw a line between us. She had her own plans, and I, the rascal who only knew how to fight, was clearly not part of them. Fair enough. We walked different paths. However, on the other side of the story, another girl involved in the incident was solving the problem in her own way. She found a snitch, Yang Jinma. Hey, young Jinmo, how do you want to die? The darkness of the school was far more complex than just fists. It turns out, the reason Jaina hated violence so much was because of her brother, Seo Jawon. He was lying in a hospital bed, hovering between life and death, all due to school bullying. She lived every day in pain and anger. Do they not know how much harm they do to others without thinking? This is the most painful accusation for victims' family. Behind every critical condition notice is a broken family and endless hatred. Those perpetrators treat bullying like a fun game. They bite at each other as if they were having fun, never considering that for others, this isn't a game, it's hell. It's like this stupid game on my phone. You could just respawn when you die. But in real life, just as I was about to uninstall this crappy game, new players enter the arena. They were looking for Yang Jinma, but corner me instead. They don't even realize for a moment that the game they're playing has real-life consequences, including death. In the blink of an eye, a new storm had arrived. I found myself surrounded, but my opponents weren't students anymore. They were adults who looked much more professional. The situation seems to have gotten more complicated than I thought. I could feel the wind from their fists whistling past my ears. Every attack was precise and deadly. These guys weren't your average high school punks. They were playing for keeps. It's hard to fight against so many. I quickly found myself at a disadvantage. Blood trickled from the corner of my mouth, but the fire in my eyes only burned brighter. These fucking bastards. Did they really think numbers would guarantee them a win? How naive. When you get back for your mistakes, will you repent and reflect? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Is it right to resort to payback? For a fleeting moment, as my fist flew, a flicker of doubt crossed my mind. But that doubt was quickly shattered by reality. Your enemies don't give you time to ponder philosophy. I was knocked to the ground hard, and the pain brought me back to my senses. Survival was the only thing that mattered right now. You have to pay for your karma, bastard. They mocked, enjoying the thrill of the hunt. I shot back with a cold smirk. It was nice to eat us up this whole time, right? I'm going to make them understand that when you mess with me, you pay it back with interest. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Jaina watched over her unconscious brother. Jawon, I'm not going to get back at them in such a simple way. She swore to make those people pay a much, much heavier price. So, Jawon, can you please wake up? She prayed in despair. Back at school, a new rumor was brewing. The former boss, Kim Won-woong, had been beaten by Yang Jima. While I was gone, the school's power dynamics had quietly shifted. And so the new boss, Yang Jinma, made his grand entrance. He strutted down the hallway with his crew, reveling in the thrill of power. Ha ha, there's no way that Kim Won-woong bastard will come. He laughed maniacally, completely unaware that the real Reaper was about to arrive. They were just discussing picking a new shuttle when I happened to walk by. The air instantly froze. All eyes were on me. Well, speak of the devil. Congratulations on becoming boss. Looks like you're having a lot of fun, I said calmly, but Yang Jinma was already breaking out in a cold sweat. Decide, I stared directly at him. Do you want to fight me as a boss, or do you want to get hit and end it? I gave him a choice. Without hesitation, he knelt. Please, hit me gently. Okay, your wish is my command. I threw one punch and ended this farce. The force of that punch was clearly beyond his imagination. He felt like his soul was literally flying out of his body. What the fuck? How far am I going to fly? He screamed midair. Well, probably from the throne of the boss all the way down to the sewer. With the leader dealt with, I turned to his lackeys. Since you're in the same gang, you should get hit one by one, right? They were so scared they disbanded their gang on the spot. And no, we're not a gang. We broke up 3 seconds ago. Their will to survive was impressively strong. From that day on, the power map of Jumryong High's freshman class was completely redrawn by me. Yang Jinma became history, and I, Kwon Daegun, became the new boss. Although, personally, I couldn't care less about the title. The first week after being transferred, I conquered 4 classes. My classmates started treating me like a class treasure, swarming me every day, even asking me to go to the PC cafe with them. God knows, all I want is to finish my mission quietly, get paid, and leave. Their enthusiasm was suffocating. Even a girl who doesn't play League of Legends wanted to tag along to the PC cafe just to play Cartrider next to me. Not gonna lie, I'm grateful, but you guys are seriously annoying. Just as I was getting a headache from this lively bunch, I noticed a problem. The former boss, Kim Won-woong, hadn't come to school since his defeat. Is he thinking of dropping out? Something tells me it's not that simple. Kim Won-woong's absence made his subordinates anxious. They discussed how my arrival had disrupted the status quo. The new student is handsome and good at fighting. It's so annoying because he's so perfect, one girl complained. They began to consider forming an alliance with other classes to stand against me. Just as they were having their secret meeting, I showed up. The same girl who was just complaining about me blurted out Appa, an instant social death scene. Looking at her face, red with shame and anger, all I wanted to say was, "You want to bully me? You're about 100 years too early for that."